I don't believe anybody's good or bad. She's definitely flawed. She's definitely damaged. But she was very complex, and it was exciting to be able to play somebody with so many layers. Because on the page she could seem bad, but once you understand where her humanity and her emotions, then who's the bad one?
Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Blake Lively has just picked up a major award recently. Well, the same goes for Justin Baldoni. And I really don't care for this part of it, because Mr. Baldoni has no way to escape the situation he's stuck in right now. At this stage, there's truly only one individual who, if they chose to, could ask the court to dismiss the lawsuit, let everything go, and allow everyone to move on with their lives. Only one person holds that authority at the moment, and that's Blake Lively. Justin has no ability to halt what's unfolding. He's like someone trapped on a runaway train with no exit. Yet Blake Lively continues pushing ahead with her legal action a full year after that bombshell report hit the front page of the New York Times. And now, 1 year on, The Hollywood Reporter has informed the world that Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni rank among the top losers of 2025. In their piece on Hollywood's biggest winners and losers, these two land at number 4, stating, "These two are anything but boring. They really weren't boring before, but somehow they still aren't. They're trapped in a state of mutual assured destruction. It's like witnessing a downward spiral of social and legal ruin where everyone drawn into their circle ended up worse off, and no one gained a thing except the attorneys and people like us sending popcorn emojis whenever another update on their conflict dropped." How rough was it? Colleen Hoover, the author of It Ends With Us, just admitted she's now ashamed of her own novel. Wow. So it's quite a piece, isn't it? Because honestly, Blake has the chance to step away from this mess if she wants. She could request dismissal of the case. She could negotiate with Wayfarer. There are options available to her. Justin, however, can do nothing beyond filing dispositive motions. As the defendant, he's required to stay put, powerless until the judge rules on dismissal, settlement, or trial. So he's completely locked in. Blake, meanwhile, controls all the leverage here, and in my view, she's the one driving toward mutual destruction, her and Ryan. Neither of these actors, by the way, neither Justin nor Blake, has appeared in any new project since this film and its post-production phase. Blake did another simple favor, though it's unclear how prominent her role actually was. Justin hasn't been visible since this movie, though to be fair, he wasn't a massive movie star beforehand. This was a significant film for him. He directed some of his own projects and was mainly recognized for television roles. But Blake, with her established film history, hasn't taken on anything since Another Simple Favor and hasn't been cast in projects outside her own production company, which speaks volumes. It suggests reluctance in Hollywood to collaborate with her. She might claim the lawsuit is keeping her from working, but I don't believe that. I think if opportunities existed, she'd take them, but they don't because no one wants to hire her. That's the alleged buzz circulating in the industry. What a dramatic downfall, right? Blake went from being the victorious queen of late 2024, when her narrative dominated the New York Times front page and everyone was saying, "Oh wow, we got Blake's story so wrong," to a year later where the consensus is, Blake's lying, and this is just a ridiculous feud. I really hope Justin emerges from this intact. I hope his entire team does too. I don't place much fault on Baldoni. I genuinely believe he just got entangled with the wrong crowd. And I don't think his team comes off looking terrible. I wouldn't call Jamie Heath a villain, or say his PR folks seem like bad actors. I feel Blake has masterfully manipulated media perceptions. The award Blake received kind of highlights how Hollywood sees her now. And since we've covered her award, let's discuss the major blow happening in court at this moment, as Wayfarer's counsel has replied to Blake's latest push for sanctions over alleged improper conduct during depositions. Last week, I mentioned how it seemed they were feeding a narrative to the press implying Wayfarer was inappropriately probing Ms. Lively's sexual past, which their response addresses directly today. They also argue she's abusing the docket. They've unsealed and filed the full deposition transcript, so now we can see what went on behind closed doors. The scene it depicts, at least for me, shows Meryl Govern not getting the responses she desired, constantly interrupting, with back-and-forth disputes among counsel. Not entirely unusual in depositions, But whenever things didn't favor her side, she'd threaten to involve the judge, and she repeatedly cut off the witness. I'd argue this definitely wasn't Wayfarer's fault. That's my take. Their filing states Ms. Alexander is a digital ecosystems expert designated by the Wayfarer parties to counter specific expert reports on whether social media activity about Ms. Lively from August 2024 through February 2025 stemmed from a coordinated negative campaign, as alleged, or organic public interaction and entertainment news cycles. She underwent 7 hours of questioning by Ms. Lively's counsel. There's a footnote noting, Ms. Alexander's deposition had zero connection to Ms. Lively's sexual or romantic past. Nevertheless, the motion includes a self-serving letter from 3 months ago by Ms. Lively's counsel complaining inaccurately about certain questions allegedly related to her sexual or romantic history. Those questions concerned Ms. Lively's reputation, which she herself raised. Since Ms. Lively didn't seek court relief months ago over any supposedly improper questioning and isn't now, the motion appears designed purely to spark sensational headlines and wrongly smear the Wayfarer counsel's reputation. They reference a Variety headline. Justin Baldoni's lawyers say questions about her sex history should be off-limits in deposition behavior. And a New York piece. Blake Lively's lawyers blast Justin Baldoni's team for probing her sex life in disruptive depositions. So they laid it out straight for the court. They clarify no questions targeted her sex life. They focused on reputation. I've pointed out how they frame things in ways that aren't always precise. I'm guessing once her transcript is unsealed, it'll confirm this. But they claim the motion was just to generate inflammatory coverage, something Wayfarer's team rarely does when seeking court relief, unlike Blake's repeated tactic. Their point is that civil procedure rules require deposition objections to be concise, non-argumentative, non-suggestive. Courts can sanction conduct that impedes, delays, or frustrates fair examination. Ms. Lively submitted only 35 pages, about 10%, of her transcript, likely to build a misleading story. They're providing the complete version so the judge can confirm Ms. Alexander's deposition wasn't hindered. Review will show counsel objected briefly and properly to question forms, avoided speaking objections, and let Ms. Alexander answer everything except one topic detailed later. The motion fails to note any key testimony area blocked by objections. Their core argument is that scrutinizing what Ms. Lively calls frequent speaking objections reveals the motion's triviality. Though she alleges interruptions to check if Ms. Alexander needed exhibits, examples prove her counsel, Mayor Governke, was unaware of the amended expert report, wrongly claimed it wasn't served. It was a month prior, and Wayfarer's counsel professionally corrected her. They cite page 59 where the witness wants to verify if it's amended. Governke questions if testimony claims an amendment. Fritz objects. The witness doubts it's amended. Governke asks when produced. Answer is November 3rd. She insists no amended report received. Fritz offers to verify, and it leads to a break. Later clear it was received. So definitely a misrepresentation. They add that Ms. Alexander, new to depositions, especially remote ones, was advised to download exhibits for full review rather than limited screen shares. When asked to summarize a long-cited article, confusion arose over memory versus review, and instead of clarifying, Wayfarer's counsel request led to a rant. In one-sided exchange, Governke interrupted a confused witness, and Wayfarer's side suggested listening for clarification. Reading it all, it's ironic she portrayed Wayfarer misconduct when she got heated, leading to exchanges, court involvement, labeled as speaking objections. Wild. Anyway, they've attached the full transcript. I'll dive deeper another time. It's complex social media discussion. They note rules Governke violated, like not instructing the witness standardly to request rephrasing if unclear. Her criticism of repeated answer instructions is invalid. Such reminders are proper for defense to ensure answering despite objections. Improper speaking objection examples come from Ms. Lively's counsel Ezra Hudson in non-party Jenny Slate's deposition. Interesting. So Exhibit 2 is sealed excerpts from Jenny Slate's September 26, 2025 deposition. We can't see it. Governke also skipped informing about break requests yet objected to suggesting one after 2 hours for witness and stenographer. She used a pending question pretext to deny, later disproven. Overall, questioning proceeded smoothly post-court conference and break, and Ms. Lively hasn't shown substantive hindrance. They detail more of Governke's conduct, disputes over work product/privilege instructions, not with Friedman or Fritz, but separate counsel Shapiro/Bach firm. She couldn't recall who. Minor exchange. Response accuses improper debating of instructions, violating court rules by not meeting/conferring post-deposition on objections. Motion deniable solely for that. Had they followed practices, Wayfarer would agree to brief remote continuation for questions on separate counsel communications/facts/data informing opinions, and they stipulate now. So key disputes involve separate counsel instructions for report formulation. They'll allow limited redeposition but note no prior request. Just rush to court, their pattern for outbursts. Finally, sanction motion against Friedman and undersigned is frivolous. No cited prior misconduct pattern, referencing cases of deliberate court order violations, prolonged irrelevant arguments, relevancy-based non-answers, none alleged here. Only pattern is Ms. Lively's media use to discredit others, distract from case merits. Wow. Footnote. Ironically, Governke's improper counsel baiting prompted Friedman's request to stop. Heath deposition citations involve different concerns over long breaks by Lively's side, not involving them. Essentially, they skip proper channels. Motion aims to push false media narrative, distract from real issues. I agree. Early deposition tension involved privilege fight. Governke claimed non-engagement. Fritz confirmed instruction adherence. Questions on prior contacts/instructions not to answer, leading to Friedman intervening on speaking objections, escalating to mutual accusations, her demanding mute for non-appeared counsel, heated back and forth. Per federal rules, objection/instruction should end debate. Other side moves on or notes for motion. Instead, she debated on record, creating hostile atmosphere by demanding unnecessary explanations after sufficient response. So she's accused of the misconduct, speaking objections, demanding, while they asked her to stop. In this case, I strongly suspect sanctions motion denied. No prior meet/confer, no extra hour requested. Likely no fees awarded. Given full transcripts/examples, probably just order one more hour deposition. They've agreed. Point seems avoiding confer to push improper conduct story when hers was argumentative, rude. Bottom line, Blake accused of docket abuse. Judge already warned against it. We'll see ruling, but rough day for Ms. Lively. Finally getting pushback, total Hollywood embarrassment. So share your thoughts and comments. Like this video, subscribe if not already, hit bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. See you next time, friends.